Welcome to Elevate eCommerce, the podcast where we elevate your e-commerce game. Join our host, Hi Mag, CEO of Eva, as he shares the latest strategies in Amazon, omnichannel, and advertising. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting, Hi's insights and expert interviews will help you thrive in the e-commerce world. Tune in for practical tips and transformative success stories to elevate your business to new heights.
Welcome everyone to a new episode of Elevate e-commerce podcast. And today I have a great guest, a good friend from UK, and he is Alex Karagiannis. And from the last name, you may imagine that that's more like Greek related. And he told me that today he is in Athens, although the main office is in the UK. Welcome, Alex, to our podcast.
Hello. Thank you. Glad to be here. Hi. Thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you. So, Alex, please, I have a lot of questions for you. We typically talk about the advertising space, but you have vast amount of experience, not only as a great agency in the UK, which I know that you serve European customers, US customers, etc., but also you have your own brand too. So we are very happy to listen your story and the Amazon side of the things.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, I studied in the UK. Did my marketing. My master's is in marketing. I'm a Chartered Institute of Marketing professional, which is an accreditation in the UK in marketing. And I've spent, I guess, the last 13 years in marketing. Now, about 8 years ago, while I was working for a company full time, I stumbled upon the Amazon world. A friend of mine told me there is a priest in USA selling Tupperware and making $3 million a year. And I'm like, wow, okay, well, if a priest can do this, I have studied marketing. I'm no offense to the priest by all means, but I'm studying this, so I might as well be able to do this a bit and have some better success rate than others, let's say. So then that's how I kind of started. One thing led to another, and I got fired from that job, etc. So I had to work part-time at the cafe, and at night study, and in the early morning negotiate prices with China and suppliers and all this. And long story short, we launched our first FBA products. Back then, it was very, very cheap to launch it. Nothing like the prices that you have now. Competition, there was competition, but not to the extent that there is now. But what that happened is it really led me to find a passion in marketing. Not only what the marketing I was doing before was a lot on services and B2B, but now that translated in things that you see on a daily life in the supermarket shelves, in the kitchen counter, or in your bathroom and so on, because all of these are products being sold on Amazon. So that's how the Amazon journey started. Fast forward, that business is now number one on our category on Amazon UK, and we're expanding in Europe and USA. And at the same time, I realized that a lot of people struggle selling on Amazon, especially big companies, whether they don't have the resources, staff, etc. So I created Lezat, which is a one-stop shop, you could say, for anything Amazon. So that's what we do and how we are here.
Amazing story. Have you met with this priest at any point of your time?
No, but I should really try and find him. Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing though. I did the course and I paid £8 for that course, and I've sent 3 times an email to the person that did that course. Now I don't want to say the name, etc., but it's one of those no BS courses, old school e-commerce. They used to sell with the books and stuff. That's probably the best ROI I've ever had in my life for that £8, which is like $10. Because I learned how to do Amazon back then, and that led to creating the business as well as obviously the start to where both companies are right now.
Excellent. Great to hear that too. Great story. Now it's also congratulations that not only you are an agency, but also a category leader for Lezat. So one of the things that we see in the last couple of years, and this business for the last 10 years now, but the last 3 years is a lot of conversations about advertising, how the
Mhm,
advertising should be done better. And
mhm,
almost we know about all the rest, but without advertising, it is very unlikely to grow. But also,
mhm,
it costs a lot. So, what is
mhm,
your advertising strategy as you
mhm,
are launching new products or
mhm.
engaging with new clients?
Okay, so I'll very very good question, and definitely a topical challenge that many clients face. We get this a lot. A lot of times, people contact us on our web form on our website and say, "Hi, we work with an agency. We want to move because ACOS is too high now," or etc. So I'll try and split this question, if I may, into two sections. One is product launch, and one is working with new clients because it's two separate things. So for product launch, uh, you need we try and educate the brand owner or the company that it's actually going to be much more economical if you say, I'm going to sacrifice 2, 3, 4, 500 units at break-even price to launch the product, and then try and increase the price to make up for it. I'm putting it very simplistic. There's 9 things that we go through on a product launch. Price is just one of them. There's obviously review, what keywords, your honeymoon period, many things, but I'll just keep it at a high level. So some companies do understand this, some don't. So you need to educate them up front. You cannot expect to be a new yoga mat on Amazon UK and say, well, I'm going to have a profit from a first yoga mat. You won't. It's actually very, in a sense, disrespectful to the other brands that have built reviews and authority and customers all these years. So this is one side of the equation of how to launch it. So therefore, the launch has to go in synchronization with advertising on that front. Which keywords at the beginning, which keywords a bit later on, as the product matures and gets more reviews, as the pricing changes, as we get data from brand analytics, etc. How do we move on that field? Then for new clients is about understanding, well, what gaps have been in the past in PPC? Did we do sponsor product correct, sponsor brand, sponsor display? Have we done split A/B testing? Have we used DSP for the bigger ones? Uh, in a sense, I would say that I like to compare PPC to one of my favorite hobbies, which is fishing. If everyone goes to the same fishing lake, then it's more difficult to get fish. So therefore, you have to experiment a bit more, change the bait, go somewhere else, cast a bit feathering, change the time, day parting. So that's the place where actually the more data you have and the more you can analyze it, the more you can make informed decision as to where, when, and with what bait is the best time to do your advertising. And that's where the golden nuggets are. And that's actually what's going to help you reduce your tacos and get the results that you want. Sorry for the long answer, but I think it's easier to split it in those two to get a better understanding.
I also very much like that you are telling the customers to start from a break-even price. And a lot of customers, as you mentioned, they don't get it and they don't want it and they want the profit
Yes.
from day one, especially when big customers that they are not on Amazon, when they come in, they are like, hey, I'm a big guy, we need profit. And unfortunately, it fails. So it's a good combination of many things like price, advertising, and all that stuff. So, I mean, obviously, every day Amazon is coming with a new unique technique with advertising. You mentioned DSP, for example. It's becoming more
Mhm.
and more popular, but you need some velocity before you start DSP. What innovative advertising techniques that you are using right now in the last few months, and then you are really amazed with the results?
Mhm. Well, first of all, one of the best things is seasonality types of advertising. Back to school, for example, is very popular right now. So a lot of the products have a relevancy towards that. Some other ones are so your sponsor. What I mean by this, to be very exact, is so I mean your, for example, sponsored brand campaigns. You're doing some split A/B testing on the creatives, on the headlines, just on that topic of back to school. See what performs best, analyze a bit your store traffic, how much the conversion rate is there, and so on. So that tends to work quite well, your sponsored brand. Uh, as always, your sponsored product, but we start to see a bit more success in broad match campaigns as opposed to exact. Again, I would say exact match sponsor product is probably the most fist lake out of any place. And then the other type is obviously in UK, sponsor TV has recently been launched and it comes with free credit and so on. So that is an area where there is a lot of early success and a lot of good data coming out from that front.
Oh, great to hear that we observe the same with the sponsor TV for the last few months. So a great one. By the way, I'm also expecting, Alex, that you're going to share an e-commerce hack with us, but I would like you to do it at the end. So everybody watching the podcast, please be ready for that e-commerce hack. And as Alex is running also his own show on Amazon, I'm pretty sure that he knows how to navigate more than the people just teaching it, but not doing it, because he's doing it and teaching it, which makes a lot of sense. And as a full service account management agency and Amazon account management agency, we all know that advertising is not the only thing that is impacting the results, and even advertising itself, right, is impacted by other things. So what affects advertising and the growth that is not advertising itself?
Okay, so how you can see it. So, well, the important thing here that I would like to say is that sometimes we get carried away that we only focus on the advertising ACOS and only that. So a client is just so familiar with just not looking at Seller Central at all, going straight into the campaign advertising, campaign manager, straight in, okay, a lifetime, oh, look, 2021 or 2022, my ACOS was this, my spend was this, now it's much lower. You're not doing a good job, for example, or etc. And there are some things that we need to address here, which I know affects a lot of our agencies. It affects a lot of our clients as well. And it's the fact that 2021 and 2022 were COVID years. Those excelled a lot e-commerce, and a lot of spending happened on marketplaces like Amazon, etc. And then in 2023, we've seen a drop in some categories that the advertising numbers are not there, and the sales number are not there, and the overall traffic is not there, because people want to purchase the brick and mortar specifically for some Christmas items, etc., and so on and so forth. So to an extent, it's understanding what's happening in the industry, where we are now. If you're doing the same revenue and same profitability you did in 2021 today, and considering that the overall category has dropped by 30%, then that's actually a success. You should measure not only your performance compared to all the year before, but also your market share right now in that market. And then the other thing is measuring not just ACOS, but TACOS is a much better way of looking at things, because there will be keywords, there will be placements that you want to win that actually are going to help you long term with your overall profitability, etc. So some months you might sacrifice some ACOS to build up your sales and velocity and BSR and all that, so that the remaining months, for example, which is peak season, you are at a very good position to capitalize on this and have your overall TACOS lower.
Got it. Look, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. And I was also like, because you mentioned that about the 2001 and 2021 and 22 versus 24. One of the things that we are seeing is, especially in the US market, pretty much the e-commerce numbers are back to the COVID times. But between the end of COVID and 6 months ago, the numbers were a bit lower, but right now it's pretty much caught up, so that's where we see. And the biggest difference between UK and US, very interesting, but US e-commerce penetration is still much lower compared to UK or China. Like, seems like in UK, half of the people are buying from not only Amazon, but other e-commerce marketplaces or websites.
Yeah.
And this is like advanced stage. So there is less room like with the retails because there is still the transition going on. In the US, it's still 22% of the
Mhm.
population buying from e-commerce, which is a big opportunity as well. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, the interesting part about your journey is obviously to start I mean, you first start the brand and then the agency. But I would like to ask you about the success of Lezat. Like maybe you can tell us like what are the reasons, like what happened, and you are the category leader now. What is your advice to the Amazon private label owners and brands? Can you share us a bit of this success story with Lezat?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so you wanted to specifically talk about the product that I sell on Amazon and how I became a category leader and advice on that front. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean the brand story and like a
Yeah,
case
yeah,
study, because you lived in
yeah,
it, so maybe this is
yeah.
the best case study
Sure,
for everyone.
sure. So I would say one thing, and uh, so first things first is if for anyone who wants to start selling on Amazon and they want to do a private label, FBA, and so on, which is it's always the best time to do it. But what I would say is you don't start to do it because you want to make money. This is a wrong way of going around it. It's the same way I would say you're building a business. You don't do it to make money. You build it because you have a passion. You want to work on your own, or you're like curious about it, or you're like, I want to learn about this, or I want to make money while I'm sleeping, or I want to work from Bali. Whatever it is, that's the passion that is going to help you fuel all the things you're going to do, which is going to be first identify what product you want to be selling. Don't do tactics that everyone says online. It's overfished. Try and understand them, then make your own tactics. If you're still lacking skills, get a good course online. Don't spend more than $50 to get a full course on how to do Amazon FBA. That's my advice, etc. I think you can find many good ones for free, even on YouTube. Next is do every step, but do it correctly. So if you're going to go for something, okay, budget for it. Talk to suppliers, get samples from them, analyze those samples. How quickly did they reply to my email? How quickly did they reply to my WeChat? Did they send it on time? Did the packaging that arrived well? Your first order is not something that can go wrong. You put money in, it has to work well. And I've seen it time and time again where there's little mistakes happening there. Next, make sure you ask for proof of the products before they send. There's a photo, etc. So there's no mistakes, etc. And then it's actually understanding that to win, you cannot sell a similar product. You cannot someone cannot be selling a water bottle and then you're selling the exact same water bottle but cheaper. That's not going to work. Try and analyze the data, try and analyze the reviews, try and see where the trends are, maybe see water bottles in Japan, in Australia, in USA before you launch it in Germany. Maybe there's a gap in the market there. Maybe they should have a straw or something else to give you that competitive edge. So I would say do every step of the process with a lot of detail and a lot of love. And that actually is going to start to build like a little tree is going to grow. And again, as a little tree, needs a few years before actually you can start reaping the rewards, in which case getting yourself paid and so on. That's probably my best advice.
Excellent. Like
Uh,
I like the three part two, as both Turkey and Greece are famous with the olive trees,
Olives.
but
Yes, correct.
but I mean, who is like putting the olive tree in the soil and expect like in 6 months, let's get the olive, it
No,
takes
exactly.
many years. It takes
It
many
takes
years.
many years,
And
many
if you
years.
want,
Yeah.
exactly, and then you mentioned the love, the passion, also being very focused on the details and being in the flow, right? Like, it's almost like you're in the flow, you are doing it step by step.
Mhm.
Eventually, what you manifest, what you pray for will happen if you follow the
Mhm.
steps. Maybe that's
Mhm.
how the priest was successful.
maybe,
there is
maybe
some
true.
there is some love here, right? I mean, you need to pour some love into the equation as well. Well,
Yeah.
that's a great way of explaining the starting points. Something that I really like to discuss, Alex, is, I mean, I'm a computer engineer myself,
Mhm,
and I see that, and started working with artificial intelligence almost from
mhm,
97. And right
mhm.
now it's like 27 years.
Oh
Back in
wow.
those days, it was the same idea, but the execution was not possible due to the lack
Mhm.
of cloud
Course.
systems and
Mhm,
scalability and everything. And right now, every day, AI is expanding a lot. And my
mhm,
question to you is like, how are you leveraging AI? I
mhm,
mean, not just as an agency, but also as a marketing professional. I see
mhm.
that AI is eating up, a lot of stuff in content marketing, content production, creative stuff. So what's your view on that? And then focusing on into Amazon space.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely not an AI expert, but I will tell you that it's an area where there's a lot of potential, a lot of growth. It's something like for the analogy that I gave my team is before you were able to build the houses with just your hammer and prick, but now you have like a power drill. I know it's scary. I know you don't know what it means and what it does, but if you see it, etc., you're going to do the work much quicker. So at Lazat, we have each person who works here has at least one AI tool that they are familiar with. Now, we have a lot of use cases for AI that we use internally. Some are our secret sauce, etc., and how we launch products better, or how we do R&D better, or how we give a lot of value to some of our clients. Just to give you an understanding, a report that we gave to one of our clients, who is one of UK's biggest kitchenware company, I'll tell you, which their products are in almost most kitchens in the UK. We created a report for them for free, which they had paid £7,000, which is like almost $10,000, another company to do. And our report was actually better. That's what they told us. And the magic behind it is one thing, is, in my opinion, I might be wrong here because I'm not an AI expert, but AI lacks the fact that you don't know where it gets the data from. So if you're asking it a question to do something, you don't know where it got the data. But the power comes when you're able to give the data to it. So you're like, don't give me your opinion. I want what you read here and tell me this. Now, Amazon is the world's biggest retailer and the world's biggest marketplace. So there's a lot of data you can get and a lot of things you can do with this, which can result in many, many smart things that can help new product launches and many, many other things. So that's one use case, for example, for AI that I can tell that it's highly relevant and something very, very hot for us right now. And one of the drivers of a lot of success that we have with many, many new projects.
Excellent to hear that. Well, I mean, Eva is a platform, a tech platform. We track more than 75 million products every day, every hour, every minute, depending on price changes, ad changes, all that stuff. And then taking all this data, which you know that it is correct, because a lot of places you have this incorrect information, and getting
Mhm,
the correct information and giving it to AI and let AI to fill the gaps is
mhm,
exactly a use case of AI that you are describing. I mean, that is the
mhm,
one way of using the AI is
mhm,
you give 20% of the data points and then you ask for the 80%, for example, because it will calculate that. It's not, it's kind of not just statistical methods, but other type of methods. So it's a very good
mhm.
one. I hope that
Interesting.
I mean I think that a lot of companies that are that are charging thousands of dollars for the reports. Um, I think that's one of the areas that will change dramatically as the people just put their own data and get maybe buy some accurate data and then feed AI and then get something out of it. So
Correct.
one thing comes to my mind also with your brand and the agency, the
Mhm,
things are changing on Amazon. You mentioned at some point 6, 7 years, 6 years or 5 years ago, what was the FBA fee versus today? I mean,
mhm,
complexity of Amazon, advertising fees, commissions, everything. And we are a bit struggling now in the US because every single day there is a new storage related complexity, some new policy. And now you need to split the box into 5 and then make sure the first box is in this size and things like that. So things are really getting complicated. So the most important thing still for the ones which already are in their first, second year, they launched it, they grow the product, then the profit becomes very important, right? So what's your profit strategies? How do you make sure that you maximize the profit, especially as the customer moved from the launch to a growth, and now they want to scale, they do more than 100K maybe, now they want more profit. What will you do?
So very good question. So the one of the things that I like to do a lot here at Lazat is I have a one-to-one meeting at least once a month with each one of our clients, no matter how small or big, no matter how many years have been with us. The reason is behind exactly what you just said here, because end of the day, if you want to be making more profit, there's a lot of things that we can look into. We can look into how to reduce your costs from source, because I've been buying from China. I started from one pallet and worked my way up all to a container, bootstrapped, no outside funding, nothing. Just let this Amazon tree, grow and become bigger and bigger and bigger. So from this, there's a lot of lessons there. How you can extend the payment from your supplier, how you can get some benefits. Maybe you can use some people in our network to get some better pricing on your shipping fees, etc. Because end of the day, you can either look at it. The easiest way of looking at it really is how can I reduce my costs somewhere, but it's not going to affect my supply chain right now profitability. That's the quickest way of looking at it, as opposed to saying, well, to make more profit, we need to double the revenue. That's going to take a bit longer time. That's why I'm going through the cost route. So the next thing is to understand forecasting, extremely important, because you're able to see exactly how much you're going to be selling that year, what you can negotiate with your supplier, and so on. Next is your storage fees. So always try and see if there's someone out there that can give you better pricing on your storage. Can you store pallets perhaps? Can you ask your manufacturer to just pre-palletize 5 cartons of this, 10 of this, 10 of this, so they just go straight into Amazon, and then your 3PL doesn't have to pick and pack and resend as such. And then going into Amazon, there's a lot of tricks and tips. The thing is, US, UK, Europe, they're all very different because there's different laws, different VAT charges, different places you can look. For one of our clients, with one email to Amazon, we gave them back £18,500 with one email to Amazon, because Amazon had been charging them wrongly on that, and it was a tax-related thing. It's not being picked up by normal tools, and that's because I had that issue 6 years ago. So what I'm trying to say is, it's this one-to-one relationship, this communication, whether by Slack or emails, and being a partner to their business, that then each month we see how we can improve these things, how we can improve costs, how we can reduce them, that are going to cumulatively help with riding all of these increases in price. So that's something extremely important. And then obviously, needless to say, dynamic pricing is one of the fastest ways to actually get some more profit, get some more revenue going, and analyzing end of the day what effect it has on the profitability. Sorry for the long answer, but as you can understand, it's, there's a lot of things that can go in there.
But I think without having that full account management experience, and also the experience of building the brand, it is very unlikely to respond to the answer from start to end, because everything starts even on the supplier side, like the quality versus the price and your negotiation. That is starting point, and then you take it up to the advertising budget and everything, right? So
absolutely.
The other thing that I think it might be interesting, so in the US, Amazon is still 50+% of the market, but what we are seeing is there is a huge tsunami coming from the Chinese marketplaces like Temu, Shein, as well as TikTok. And for example, now even at Eva, we focus a lot on the TikTok shop. And I mean, it's incredible. Like, I mean, I'm getting
Mhm,
so many customers with TikTok shop,
mhm.
and we launch influencer marketing, all that stuff. Now, when I look back into UK, Amazon is not even like it's not the same market share as US, but it has the same challenges of increasing fees and increasing CPCs and all that stuff. So, what's your omni-channel strategy? What do you
Mhm.
think about omni-channel? I mean, you can talk about
Mm,
UK, Europe, or US. Your customers from all
yeah,
around, and how do you address this?
yeah, yeah. So actually, just taking the Amazon hat out and putting the marketing hat back on. One of the main So you can give a lot of recommendations to clients how to grow their account, especially when it's a big account. And a lot of times the recommendations go along the line. Well, each listing should have three videos: a product, a UGC, and like the brand video, A plus content, premium, etc., etc., etc. Now we've worked with some very big brands, like very big brands, uh, even Fortune 500 companies. The issue is always the same and always has been in marketing, even back when I started doing marketing, is I know what the ideal content should be. I don't have time, resources, money, expertise to do all of these. So therefore, the question really is, how can I create something that can have a magnitude of effect, uh, not only on Amazon, but on other places as well. So this is where these things come in. So what I'm saying is, if you create, for example, a good UGC content, user-generated content, has someone unboxing the product, etc. So that can be used on Amazon. It can be used on your website. It can be used on TikTok Shop. It can be used on many places, on your social media, etc. That's the key behind omni-channel. Don't try and look at each channel, what is the optimal content for each, because no one has the time, the budget to do it. It's very difficult. You're really talking only about companies that have SKUs that are counted in one hand. The majority are not like this. The majority have different multi-packs, they have different flavors, they have different supplements, that etc. So that's very important to analyze so that you know, right, what percent of my sales come from Shopify, what from TikTok, what from Amazon, what from this. Okay, if I spend 10,000, 20,000 next year in content creation, what type of content do I need to create to support which SKUs, usually Pareto, top 20% of your SKUs, to support them in all these channels. Spend it, measure it, track it, so then you know next year what you want to be doing. That's, I think, a better approach in omni-channel, as I see a lot of time going wrong with people just focusing only on one channel and not utilizing that content, whether it's translation of that content, whether it's just clipping it by 5 seconds to make it live for advertising, etc.
Very
That's
good
my
point.
approach.
Yeah, I like that
Mm.
very much. The Pareto principle. So the top selling items definitely has opportunities in different marketplaces. And with the rise of the influencer marketing, that is also not even supplementary. It's kind of complementary because it's a different audience, right? It's Gen
Mm-hmm.
Z dominated, but there is so many others, even the old guys, they all in TikTok. So
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
these guys might not be the same guys they are buying on Amazon. It's not the same mindset of buying. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, good advice on that. So, thank you very much. And which was also my final question. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, I would like to get from you a practical e commerce hack. Maybe our audience will just listen and then go back and implement it and be rich.
Okay. Well, so I'm not gonna say there's a lot of hacks I can go through, but and I've written some of you down. But I would say just keeping on the topic, the last one that we just talked about, influencer marketing and so on. So the let's assume you are going down the route of using an influencer to build traffic to your Amazon listing, okay, and sell. Let's assume you are selling that water bottle, okay, and as part of your launch, etc., you want to be doing some outside of Amazon support. There are some things which I see are commonly wrong. First of all, you should never send traffic, and this I see this time and time and time again. You should never send traffic from outside of Amazon onto your listing. You should send it to your Amazon store. The reason behind this is because when people go on Amazon, they are lower down the funnel. They want to buy a water bottle. That's why they go on Amazon. Amazon, water bottle, buy. Whereas when you do marketing with influencer, for example, whatever channel it is, if they're at an awareness stage, it's like, oh, that's a cool water bottle. Let me, I don't know if I need one. Let's see what the price is. So guess what's going to happen? Your listing all of a sudden is going to go from 5,000 traffic a month to 60,000, 100,000, whatever it is. Conversion rate are going to go 0.001 because all of a sudden you've got a lot of people going to your listing that don't want to buy. They just wanted to know. Some obviously are going to convert. So that rings alarm bells to Amazon saying a lot of their metrics are going down. So that's why you want to send them on your store. Have a nice landing page on your store. Have ideally split A/B test that landing page. And then when they land, they see it, they get on the info, and then click to go to the listing to purchase. That's, I guess, one of the main ones. And if you want to be a bit smart in terms of how you do all of this, you want to time it as well with something seasonal, correct time of a year when people actually do need water bottles, etc., etc., etc. So that's what I would say is one of the very, very popular ones, which I probably say that at least once a month on a call with a client. It's like, oh, we're going to help Alex. We're going to do this. I'm like, don't do this. You're going to destroy us. Send it to the store. Send it to the specific landing page of that water bottle on the store, for
I
example.
like it.
That's
I
going to
like
help
it
us
very
maximize.
much. I think that's something now I'm going to go back and check, what our
Yeah.
influencer marketing team is doing. But it's a
Mhm.
very good point because you did this. One of the things I think interesting with you is like you also have your education in marketing. And a lot of
Mhm.
people think marketing is, I don't know, like something can be done, without any education, which can be okay. But the upper funnel consideration, like the awareness consideration, conversion, a lot of people don't get it. That's why they don't understand DSP2, right? Or
Yeah.
something that is requiring. And this is exactly like you create awareness. Now you want the guy to consider it. And eventually, if he wants to buy it, he will buy it, right? He's already in your
Yeah. Yeah.
store. He will click to that listing too. But now he
Exactly.
has the right intention, not just interest,
Correct.
but the intention.
Absolutely correct.
So I love
Absolutely
the
correct.
the
Yeah.
way that you are explaining this. And it's a great valuable hack. Thank you very much. It's not even a
Thank
hack.
you.
It's I think it's like a
There's
fundamentals of
yeah, there's like
influencer
three things I
marketing.
wrote. There's three things I wrote down, and I'm like, what is probably going to give the best value right now? So
Right.
it's not. So I thought that is something that is actually, yeah, it's quite
Sure.
important for people to know.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks, Alex Karistopoli, for joining our
like a lot.
call, and hope to have more podcasts with you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you very much. Harry. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye bye.